Welcome to Ode to Games. My name's Logan Plan, joined today by Kevin Boleen. Hey, Kev.
How you doing, Logan?
Doing well because Zach Rost is back.
He's
Hi,
back.
Zach.
I'm back and it feels good. I feel good because I'm not dying anymore. I was so sick last week.
Glad to hear that you're feeling better. We got some news to talk about this week. A juicy rumor roundup to get into in your
Oh
Sonic
boy.
Frontier segment. Then we're going to talk about what we've been playing, but let's get it started with Splatoon 3 getting a September 9th release date. So it was supposed to come out this summer. September 9th still technically falls into the summer season, squeaking
Yep.
it in
Yeah.
there at the very end. They also released a quick 3-minute gameplay video, which was just a video of a turf war, and it's still looking pretty similar to Splatoon 2. There's some new things in there, some new weapons, some new specials on a new map. So definitely some differences, but nothing that looks like a brand new entry, more of an iterative step. But September 9th for Splatoon 3, this is just a week after we learned that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out in July. And Kevin, I'm willing to bet that internally those two games switch dates.
Definitely. I can't think of too much other reason why they would push Xenoblade forward. There's not usually it really only is if there's something else in the way, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
even if the game is done, if you have the release date, I would assume that most of the time you're just going to keep the date. You're like, well, the game is done, but we've already announced the date, so I may as well just keep it. But I have to imagine that Splatoon had to get pushed back, and they're like, well, Xenoblade is kind of ready, so we'll just bring it out in the time that we were kind of expecting Splatoon to be out.
And I can't wonder. I can't help but wonder what is taking this version of Splatoon so much longer to come out, because one and two both were not delayed. They both hit their initial targeted release date. We heard about Splatoon 3 a long time ago. We heard about it last February is when it was announced. So a year and 2 months ago, which is longer than the first ones announced to release, which it was announced in E3 2014 and came out in May of 2015, so 11 months later. And then Splatoon 2 was announced in January of 2017 and launched 6 months later in July of 2017. So it's going to be over a year and a half from announcement to release of Splatoon 3. And is it a meteor single player campaign? Like, I'm just waiting for the curtain to be pulled back on this game, because we still don't know much that's new about this, and a reason for a new Splatoon to be coming out on the same platform.
I would assume that the summertime, whatever they're doing for a pseudo E3, whatever showcase they're gonna do, you would assume that that's going to be the time where they kind of do a blowout for it. That's really their only their only window to do it at this point. We're already coming up on May here.
Yeah, that'll probably be the biggest blowout for that. That'll probably be the biggest game at the show, because it'll be just 3 months away. We'll probably also see Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, and then Xenoblade will just be a month away. So yeah, they've got a lot lined up for that June Nintendo Direct. But Zach, any thoughts on Splatoon 3 September date?
Yeah, I've had my eye on Splatoon ever since you've been trying to get me into the series. I haven't really been keeping too much of an eye on it, but like you said, it hasn't really stood out much from previous entries in the series. So my experience is not loving the first two. I thought they were okay. It just doesn't give me much hope that I'll love this one, but I'm definitely still going to try it out.
Yeah, I was playing some Splatoon 2 last night after the recent announcement, just getting back into a little bit. And once again, I will be happy if there's just new weapons, new maps, and a way to jump into a lobby with your friends before you search for strangers. That's it. That's literally all I need. That would
Some
be
big
enough.
asks.
Some pretty necessary items for
I had to wait through two full matches. I was playing with my girlfriend last night. I had to wait through two matches, sitting, spectating, not even spectating, just watching the timer countdown,
Oh,
waiting to get into a lobby. And it's like, every other game lets you do this. Splatfests let you do this. I don't care if I'm not on the same team. I understand that in a 4v4, it'd be too easy to gang up on people who are just matching with randoms in turf wars. If you had four people get together, you'd win every time. But just let me hop into the lobby with my group and then say, okay, are you ready to enter the matchmaking? And then say yes, and then throw me on whatever team I want. Just let me get in a lobby with my friends, and that's it. That's all I ask of you, Splatoon 3. That's literally all, because
they
I know
haven't
the
showed
rest
it
will be
yet.
great.
Is that what the
No.
whole trailer is going to be at their summer showcase? Be like, wow, You can get together with your friends and then go into the matchmaking all together. Incredible.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah. And another reason I think that pushing this to September makes sense is kind of splitting up what Nintendo is hoping to be their big online games for the year, because we've got Mario Strikers coming out in June, which has a big online focus from the one main trailer we've got from that game. And then Monster Hunter Rise, third party game that comes out the last day of June, that is going to also be huge for multiplayer, especially in Japan. It's going to be a huge online multiplayer game. So pushing Splatoon back, which is also huge in Japan, giving it a little more room from Monster Hunter to make sure that online player base is there for both games for a long time after launch. I think it's a fine move. I did expect we'd be getting this game sooner, though. September is further in the year than I was anticipating. Splatoon 3 really feels like a July or August game, but September it is, September 9th, which I guess was going to be Xenoblade's date.
Yeah, get swapped around. I guess for me, I'll wait to see if the delay was warranted until we get that big trailer. Because if that trailer comes and it's more of the same, like if they don't show anything like that crazy, I'll be like, why did this have to get pushed? Just out of out of curiosity. If it's some new maps, some new enemies, some new weapons, and maybe some extra like single player content. Like, did this really need to take that long? Especially when it's on the exact same system. It's not even like you're bringing it out for whatever's new. Like you made the last game for this system. Like you would assume that you know what you're doing.
I have a feeling the single player campaign is going to be much more ambitious in this game. That's really where I think it's going to come from. They've been kind of hyping it up a lot. It has like a name, which the other ones didn't even really have a name. It's called Return of the Mammalians, like of the mammals. So I think it's going to be a lot bigger of a single player content, where Splatoon 1 and 2 single player feels like glorified tutorials, and then the Octo expansion is the first time where you're like, wow, this is a single player campaign, not just teaching me how to use the weapons. This is doing creative things with its levels and telling a really interesting story. So I think that Splatoon 3 single player could be where it stands out, which would be cool, because I've gushed about Octo expansion a lot on this show. It's a great single player campaign, by far the best Splatoon has to offer. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's just a huge campaign that is much more ambitious than kind of the level to level thing that we've seen in the first two Splatoon games, which would be really cool.
Yeah. Guess we'll see this summer when we get that big trailer, you would assume.
September 9th. Switch Sports is this week. We're 3 days away from Switch Sports. You excited, Zach?
I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to that game ever since it got announced not too long ago, and playing that early, what was it called? Like, not a beta, but
you can't talk about that.
I can't talk about it.
I wasn't going to talk about
Nintendo going to take you down.
I wasn't going to be specific.
Bust down that door back there.
But I had a lot of fun playing that, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was not going to pick it up till I played that demo, and Zach and I weren't even able to play together because it was just random matchmaking. But I was like, man, this is fun. I'd like to play this online with friends, so I'm picking it up this Friday too. Getting it physically, so I'm getting that second leg strap.
Hey,
oh, you can have one on each leg now.
I actually think there might be multiplayer for the two leg straps. We'll see. I don't think that
the leg strap is
could you
only
do
for
multiplayer
soccer
with yourself and put them on opposite legs?
Yeah, technically yes.
That'd be funny.
True way to play.
Mm-hmm. You gonna try out Switch Sports, Kev?
Maybe eventually, but not at this point. I think the next big game that I'll be picking up will be Strikers. I mean, I'm still working through Horizon. I've got a little bit more to do on Kirby. I want to pick up the Lost Judgment DLC. That'll probably be the next new thing I play. And then by the time all that's done, Strikers will probably be here. So
yeah, I was just telling Kev the other day, I just pre-ordered 3 Switch games. I was like, man, it's a busy time.
Yeah,
for the Switch.
They keep pumping games out. It's been a busy time for a while.
Strikers and Live Alive I pre-ordered. I was worried Live Alive was going to be hard to find physically, so I just secured
fair move. Yeah.
I might have to do the same.
Yeah.
Weirdly confident that I'm going to play it. I'm not usually confident about those kinds of games, but I definitely want to play it.
Mm-hmm. You're going to play Xenoblade 3 in the same month?
Yes, if I play all of them before, which is viable. I might just be in a Xenoblade mood and then play them all in a month like I do with some series. So
yeah, those are long games to get through. I guess
they are long.
Main ones.
Dropped in like 200 hours into
surprisingly
1,
dedicated.
2 and Torna.
Mhm.
Dang, all right.
which
Well,
I
we'll
think
see.
is the runtime of X.
Oh
Just
yeah.
all of those together.
Yeah, that game's long as heck. All right, we looking forward to Splatoon 3 in September, but we got some more delay news. This is for the Super Mario movie, delayed from this December to spring 2023. Miyamoto tweeting himself
It was a very
from
I don't know
The
about you
Nintendo
guys, but I
Twitter
saw
account.
the tweet and I had to click on the account to make sure it wasn't a fake.
It did seem
Like
fake
Yep,
it
immediately. That was my first reaction.
it seemed so sterile. I was like, what is
and there was
this?
no media attached. There was no
No, it's just
image,
text.
no video, and I was like, okay, is this like Nintendo America on Twitter?
Yeah.
Like, is this a misspelling?
They don't put of or something in there.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
It
so
was real.
the tweet came out last night and said, "This is Miyamoto after consulting with Chris Son, my partner at Illumination on the
Shout out
Super
to
Mario
Chris
Bros.
Pratt.
Film. We decided to move, yeah, I wonder who that is. Who is Chris?
It's Chris
The
Pratt.
director?
Maybe.
they
He
hit up
pushed it
Chris
back.
Pratt and they're like, "Is this movie gonna be coming out in December?" And he's like, "Nah, dude, it's not. We have to push
Yeah,
it back."
we've decided to move the global release to spring 2023, April 28th in Japan and April 7th in North America. So
Like how
once
he
again,
leads
Kevin.
with the later date.
Yeah, it destroys that, I guess.
Just
My
screws me
deepest
over again.
apologies, but I promise it will be well worth the wait. We have not seen anything of this movie. We have seen the cast announcement, and that is it. We have not seen even an image of what art style it's going to look like. I think you can assume, though, it's going to look like what every Mario game looks like right now. We don't know what Chris Pratt sounds like. We don't know what the story is going to be or what the tone of this thing is going to be. And it is now about a year away. Yeah, a year this week. It'll be coming out in Japan. A few weeks ago in North America. I don't know what to expect from this movie. I don't know if it was delayed because it's not ready, or if there's some Mario game coming out next spring that they would rather push this alongside. I could see it going either way.
Yeah, it could be either one. But also a delay of 4 months isn't like crazy long or something. Like
No. Yeah.
we're so used to delays of a year or longer at this point that saying like, "Oh, it'll be coming out 4 months later." It's like, okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. You guys think this movie is going to be good, or do you
I
think
don't.
it is going to be?
But it's weird because Sonic has kind of given me hope in this genre of movie. But
Mhm.
no, I don't think it's gonna be good.
I
I don't see
can't-
an avenue where it could be good.
I can't take it seriously with that cast.
I know.
At this point, I'm just morbidly curious how that all works out. Like
I
how
like the
all of
whole
those
cast
casting.
except Chris Pratt, though. I'll say I like the entire cast except Chris Pratt. I think it's really good. Apart from that, well, I think Keegan Michael Key as Toad is weird, but could be funny.
He could
But
do
the
it.
DK Bowser, Luigi, Peach, I think are all
Yeah.
pretty good. I think it's just Mario that's
Seth
the
Rogen
Which
odd
is
is
unfortunate
Donkey Kong?
because Mario is the main character and
Yeah.
that he'll be the focal point of the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's also Illumination, and you have very I don't know about you guys, but I have very rock bottom expectations for them.
They
They
did
put out
Despicable
some
Me.
they
Did they do
Mhm.
that?
and all of the other stuff and
And
Sing.
the Sing movies I really like. I like both
I
of
like
them.
those
I've
too.
seen
Okay.
both, and I like them a lot.
I have not seen
And
them.
I
but
like Despicable
people I
Me
know
also.
do not like those. So
Yeah. Yeah. Some people.
So,
don't, but
I
dig
have low expectations for Illumination. So that paired with Chris Pratt at the center is like, I don't know what this thing is going to be. And it's also hard to judge because we know nothing. It's like,
it. Yeah.
is this just going to be like, oh, Bowser Mario story, or we're going to get something more interesting, like a Mario RPG thing where they introduce a new villain or something? We don't know.
Mhm.
We don't know if
Origin
they're going to have
story.
some more like creative liberty to come up with new characters or like a new villain or something, or if it's just going to be kind of like by the book, wrote just what we see in the games. We
I
don't know
hope
yet.
Mario was raised
Yeah.
by an owl.
He gets sent to
Uh-huh.
Mushroom Land.
Yep.
Yeah, meets Eggman there in Jim Carrey's secret final movie, the Super
Yeah.
Mario movie.
I
I
lied, I'm in the
think
Mario
this movie it could be good. I don't know. I do like that Miyamoto seems extremely involved, which makes sense because he was around the last time they did a Mario movie and they just handed it off, and it was the live action disaster that gets memed to death online right now. So it makes sense that Nintendo wants to be this closely involved with it. But that being said, Miyamoto's not one for storytelling in Mario games.
He's
It doesn't really exist in the
yeah.
games he has a hand in. It exists in the Mario RPGs, not in the mainline Mario games. It doesn't even really exist in the Mario RPGs that come out now. So I'm really wondering what the story is going to be and what Chris Pratt is going to sound like. Like, I think it will look great. I think it will be fun to just watch a Mario world play out on the screen for an hour and a half. I think it will look really, really gorgeous. But the story and Chris Pratt are the two biggest question marks, and they're the two most important things
Yeah.
in a movie. The main actor and the plot are the biggest things I'm worried about.
Yep.
Yeah, I do wonder what Miyamoto, what sort of hand he has in it, because yeah, his MO is really just, gameplay over story.
Mhm.
You hear stories over and over of, like, in Paper Mario, where he's like, oh, we need to cut out the story here and just have it for Sticker Star, just be like, oh, Bowser, and no new characters,
Mhm.
and that he didn't want any sort of story in the Galaxy games, and that had to get shoved in by somebody else to get Rosalina's story in there. So it's like,
Mhm.
what exactly does he bring to the movie? I guess kind of the feel of it,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. We'll see. It's interesting. Like, I obviously respect Miyamoto for everything he's created and done at Nintendo, but recently his track record hasn't been stellar. Like, the last big game he directed before he stepped away from games was Star Fox Zero, and that game was not
Great
good.
game.
It's not good at
Fantastic
all.
game. Star Fox Guard.
So yeah, and then he was a huge part of kind of the launch of Super Nintendo Land, which does look very cool. So that was a cool project he worked on recently, and now the Mario movie. So yeah, we'll see.
Who
We'll see
knows?
what it
They're all
turns out
very
to be.
different projects.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I do wonder what that date means, because I'm expecting Zelda next spring. I'm not expecting anything Mario related next spring. So it could have nothing to do with the games. I mean, Sonic had nothing to do with the games, which we talked about, I think, is a big mistake. This might not either, but we'll see next April. It's such a
Yep.
short delay. Like, what are they going to do in that time? What are they going to do in 4 months?
Record Chris
Finishing
Pratt's
touches.
lines.
Yeah. Yeah, is he just too busy? Is he just like, yeah, I can't make it in, guys?
He's doing the Garfield movie right now, right?
That takes
Yeah,
precedence.
Yeah.
He's in Thor 4, which is coming out, what, this year? This July?
He's a busy
Soon.
man.
Yeah, this year.
He's
yeah.
probably doing another
Yeah.
like 6 Jurassic World movies. I don't
That's
know.
coming out this July also.
God.
And
Chris
then
Pratt,
there's like
he's a busy man.
Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that's coming out, I think, this Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's a
and
good
then
time to be
there's
Chris Pratt.
3.
It's it's a good time. Good time to be Chris
Yeah.
Pratt.
You like the Jurassic movies, Kev?
I only saw the first Jurassic World, and when I saw it, I thought it was fine. The more time has passed, I'm like, yeah, that movie wasn't that great.
Yeah, have you seen the Jurassic Parks?
I
Or
have
just
seen all
Jurassic
of them.
World?
Yeah, I've seen all the
Okay.
Jurassic Parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's really only one good Jurassic movie in the Jurassic series.
The first one's great. I hate the
Yeah.
second one. The
Oh,
third
God.
one is forgettable, but is more
I
enjoyable
hate
to me
the
than
third one.
I like it more than the second one, because the second one just meanders forever. Doesn't really
Yeah.
do anything. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, Chris Pratt busy. That's why there's delay in the
Uh-huh.
movie.
Jurassic World 2 is terrible. Don't see it.
I've
Jurassic
heard it's
World
bad.
3 coming out this summer. Okay.
Get hyped.
Yeah.
Mario is the main character.
Yep. Oh, Zach, you weren't here last week, but I said on the show that I want the next big Lego game to be Lego Fast and Furious and have all
Oh
10
my
movies in
God,
one game.
I would play the crap out of that game.
It
I
would
would
be
play.
so good.
Oh, I would love
Yeah.
that so much. I heard Lego Star Wars was doing really well.
Yeah, I
But we
didn't like it.
didn't
But
like it.
You didn't like it?
selling well. I didn't like it.
We
at
haven't
all.
talked about it. I wasn't on the
Yeah.
show.
You
Yeah,
gotta listen
we'll
to last
talk
week's
about
show,
it
Zach.
later if you can listen to last week's episode to hear why I really disliked Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. But I want Lego Fast, the Fast saga.
That'd be cool. I think that could work really well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Okay. We got a new trailer for Saints Row in-depth customization trailer. I don't get what all the hate is towards this game. I think it looks cool. I know I haven't played any of the originals, but Kev, you're the expert here. What'd you think of this new rebooted Saints Row trailer?
It looked good. I think this was the first time that they really leaned into what people have come to expect from Saints Row. Character customization is a huge deal. of making just absolute monstrosities, because that was always the thing with, especially once you got to like Saints Row 3, where it's like you can just make the most hideous monster there is, give him a zombie voice, and then rock through the entire game like that. And it looks like they're really leaning in on that with the character customization. You can go all out with the most bizarre skin tones, give them like vampire fangs. You can go completely naked. That was another thing in Saints Row 3. Or you can, they've got a bunch of different clothing options for you. You can layer clothes, which is cool. So you can put like a shirt and then put a jacket over that, and you can still see the shirt. Like, it looks like they're really going hard on customization, more, tattoos and different facial features, and being able to kind of like do one half of the face as a certain thing and do the other half of the face as something different. Like, I'm really impressed with that character customization. And I think it was a good idea to show that off, because people have come to expect that from Saints Row games. And I think especially when the trailer first came out, that was kind of one of the things, was that they showed off these characters and they showed off the boss, which, if you played the previous games, you assume that you create your own boss, and people were probably like, all right, is this just this cast of characters? And they had to come out and say later, like, no, you can actually create your own character. So it was nice that they finally gave people a look at that engine that makes it. And it looks really impressive.
Yeah, I think it's looking good. 4 months away, coming out this August. And yeah, I know that a big concern about this game was like, oh, you can just be like a hipster now, like a millennial. It's like, no, you can be whatever you want. I think that was probably good for some fans to see, which was already a kind of a stupid concern to begin with, in my opinion. I think people judged this game way too early just from the initial reveal. But yeah, I think it's looking interesting. Kevin's talked about this series so much, and I might hop in with this new one. I might try it out.
Some of the other
August.
customization looks fun, like having the wrecking ball behind your car. That's a new one that looks fun. You've got the spikes coming back, the spikes on the tires. That's been a mainstay since, I think, Saints Row 3. You've got ejector seats and all this other stuff that you can do with cars. I also like the ability of like customizing your crew, so you can customize what cars they'll roll up in or what suits they're wearing, so you can get as realistic or as ridiculous as you want with with your Saints crew when they're rolling in. And you can give them like tiny little micro cars to drive in, or you can give them monster trucks or something. It looks like it'll be a fun time to customize your character, customize your cars and the crew
and your golf carts.
Yeah.
I want to deck out a golf cart and buzz around town in my golf cart.
Yeah, I think this showed off Saints Row the best. I think this is the kind of stuff that they needed to show off, just because of the history of Saints Row and where the focus of the previous games are and what people come to expect. I think it was really important that they showed this up. And I think that what they're showing here will win at least a decent amount of people over. I think it is firmly put me over into being more excited than concerned. So I think they did a good job with the trailer. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. 4 months away. Zach, Saints Row?
Never played a Saints Row. Kevin has talked ad nauseum about them, so hey, maybe this is a good time to hop in. We could have a group discussion about how much we love Saints Row.
I hope so.
If we all hop into it, yeah.
It's a good time. 2022. Odie's.
It's got some competition.
Could be my game of the year.
Could be.
Kevin's probably not going to play our game of the year.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. This one's good this is a good piece of news for Zach. New Tales from the Borderlands game is coming out this year in 2022, which is the craziest part of this. Gearbox announced this, and the last one was made by Telltale, but this one is coming from Gearbox and 2K, promising new adventure, new characters, and new tales. So no footage of this game that is coming out this year, just an image for the next Tales from the Borderlands game. And it's coming 8 years after the first one, which was between the events of Borderlands 2 and 3. Introduce some new characters with Zach. You told me we're in Borderlands 3, which has you wondering where this one's going to go, right?
Yeah, so Tales from the Borderlands, like you said, made by Telltale Games, which later dissolved after its creation. And when it dissolved, Gearbox got all the rights to the Tales from the Borderlands stuff. So even though Telltale is back, it looks like they will probably have nothing to do with this new Tales from the Borderlands game. Looks like it's just going to be handled by Gearbox and 2K in-house. So we don't know anything about it. The only thing we know is that it's coming this year, which is pretty
Apparently.
crazy. It's a very quick turnaround for something we just learned existed. We have no idea if it's going to be episodic or if they're going to take it in more of a direction like the other standard Borderlands game, where it's more of a looter shooter, not a choice-based story game like the Telltale games have been in the past. We know absolutely nothing about it. But yeah, it is a little weird because I have not played Borderlands 3, but as far as I know, I have seen images, I have seen some clips that the characters who are the predominant main characters in the Tales from the Borderlands game do appear in their future states in Borderlands 3. So I'm not sure if this is going to pick up right after the first Tales from the Borderlands and maybe continue on their story before the events of Borderlands 3, kind of like what they're doing with a Wonderlands type situation. I don't know. We know nothing. I think that'd be cool because I really love the characters from Tales from the Borderlands, and I've been wanting to play Borderlands 3 ever since it came out, but I've been a little too lazy to do that. But
It's cheap. Just pick it up.
yeah, it's always cheap. It's always crazy cheap.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we'll see where they take it, but I'm definitely gonna play it, and I'm excited it's coming out this year. Because I hate having to wait for things. So looking
It is
forward to
weird
it.
though that they're planning on having this come out this year and that they announce it like this. Like, couldn't
Yeah.
you wait like 3 months maybe and
Have a
come
trailer.
out with a big trailer that shows the game and be like coming this winter or whenever it's coming out, coming this fall? Like, why would you go so cryptic for a game that's coming out this year?
Usually when it's just an
already
image, we're a few
4
years
months
out.
in.
Yeah.
This isn't even January of 2022. We're talking end of April.
Yeah.
Weird way to announce it.
It's bizarre announcement timing for sure, but I like this announcement a lot. I know that after kind of the back-to-back of the pre-sequel and Borderlands 3, I think there was kind of a lot of fatigue in the community. They had played all these games, all the DLC for all the games, saying that they were kind of ready for the series to do something different. So I think the back-to-back releases of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, a Borderlands game in a totally different setting and different vibe and tone, and then the story-based game of Tales from the Borderlands. I think it's a good way to kind of get away from the standard Borderlands fare for a while and give fans some fresher stuff that like the series and the world, but we're maybe getting a little bit tired of the sameness of 2, the pre-sequel, and 3. So I think it's cool, and I think that it's cool that it's coming back, even though Telltale doesn't really exist as it once was. Even though they're trying to make a comeback in a new way, it's not the same studio. So to see them just kind of taking over the series, I thought it was a really cool announcement.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to it. Tales from the Borderlands is my second favorite Telltale game. Behind the first
Wolf
season of The
Among Us?
Walking Dead.
Oh,
which
that's right.
just had its 10-year anniversary a couple days ago.
Wow, that's weird.
It has been a long time. And then Wolf Among Us is 3.
And they're making a new one of that, a sequel to that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But that's actually
next
Telltale,
year,
but not the original Telltale.
It's the new Telltale with the original cast and everything, doing the voices, coming out next year. So
Did
a
you
lot
play
of
Batman's?
I played the first episode of the first Batman, thought it was okay. Just for some reason never went back. I think the
really
first
liked
episode
it.
was free or something. That's probably why I played it.
It was
Yeah, I
good.
enjoyed it. I believe it focused a lot more on Bruce Wayne than Batman. Yeah, which I like. I think that's cool.
Yeah, it does a lot of the same things that then the Batman does that just came out in theaters. And like, I already saw this in the Telltale game. You're doing it again.
Why are you copying it?
Yeah. Yeah. But season 2 wasn't that good, but season 1 was really, really good. Yeah. Okay. Rumor Roundup time. Time for our weekly Sonic Frontiers segment. We've got a hot rumor.
Oh boy.
This article coming from Nintendo Life, and the headline is Sonic fans are going crazy about a mystery character with pink hair. So this is coming from TalesTube, which we talked about in a previous Rumor Roundup, which is the new YouTube segment where Tails is announcing Sonic news and updates. He did not announce the Sonic Origins pricing.
He did not show off the chart.
He's
like, this is how you can get all of the content.
But Ian Flynn, who, if you remember, is the head writer of the Sonic the Hedgehog comics, who is also writing Sonic Frontiers, which actually has me excited because the comics are really good and actually have good stories compared to the games, was showing off some art of Sonic characters from throughout the series, including the the guy who works at the museum in Sonic Unleashed, remember, with like the really thick eyebrows that cover his eyes, and you
Professor
can't
Pickle?
see his eyes at all. Yeah, Professor Pickle. That's right. I remember his name.
A
Professor
true legend
Pickle
in the
and
Sonic universe.
a handful of others. But then on the far right was a woman with pink hair who no one recognized. And someone tweeted at him, "Hey, who is this?" And he basically responded with some cryptic hashtag, hashtag knowing smile. I don't know what that means.
What?
Is that her name?
But now
Knowing
people are
Smile?
theorizing that she is going to be the typical human companion that we've seen in a lot of 3D Sonic games. We saw in Sonic 06, we saw the genie in Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Girl,
So
yeah.
maybe this is the new Sonic Frontiers character. She's got pink hair. Amy has pink hair. It's been
Amy's
rumored
dead?
Amy is dead.
Amy's dead. This is Amy.
Is this Ghost Amy?
Yeah, and so even the director of the series responded to some new concept art of this character, placing her in the Sonic Frontiers art style, and said, "Wow, what a quick job that somebody did to mock it up that fast." So people are already talking about this character, and I want to ask you guys: do you want to see another entry in the saga of semi-realistic female human companions
Oh,
in the Sonic series? Kevin,
I feel-
start with you.
I don't want to see Elise again. I don't need to see that kiss. Although Knuckles in the background is still pretty legendary. Just
Yeah.
seeing through time back there. But I don't think I need to see that again. I guess it also depends on what type of world design they go for here. If it fits into the world, and if Sonic fits, because I guess you look back at Sonic 06 and Elise fit into that world, but I don't think Sonic fit really well. I think they did a good job in Sonic Unleashed, where it's like these characters are very cartoony, so they kind of fit into Sonic's world, even if he's not human. You know, how they coexist, we don't know, but they fit in with that art style. So if they go that route, I wouldn't be opposed to that. But I do not want to see another Elise situation again, where it's like hyper realistic for the time, hyper realistic character alongside Sonic, and they just completely clash. I don't need to see that again.
How about you, Zach?
I would actually prefer the 06 style. I just think it's funny. I just love seeing like realistic people. It feels like Sonic to me. Because that's Sonic 06 was the first one we played together.
So that's Sonic.
And that's my mind.
no.
In my mind, that's just what Sonic is. He's just in a world.
But what
with
if the
people.
game's actually good? Like, if the game is trash, then it's funny.
It seems like
it's
Kevin is landing on the side where I want this to be good, so I want them to do this, and Zach is landing on the side I know it's going to be bad, so just go all in with it.
Yes,
that's what I'm getting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't want them to actively
of,
lean into going bad. I don't think that'll turn out very well.
At this point, I don't even know.
I think this could end up being, as we just talked about, the comic book writer is handling it. I think this could end up being the most comic booky Sonic game yet, which is a good thing for me. It's always been the highlight of the series. And that has done humans very, very well. The art style that they have in the comics very much aligns with of the humans, very much aligns with the characters. It works. It looks good. Sonic X also had human characters. Sonic was just on Earth in that show and in those comics, and it worked well there too.
Sonic Adventure, he's friends. Sonic Adventure 2, was it? Friends of the President?
Yeah. And Shadow,
really
the president's in Shadow. The Hedgehog gunning after Shadow.
I mean, they're around,
I think
I guess
humans can be done well in the Sonic universe. It's always a little odd when they're in there, but it works. I don't want the realistic style. I think Sonic 06 is terrible for that reason.
Also, we don't need a romance like that again.
No.
I think we
No.
do. I think we
not.
do.
We don't.
Another oh no moment.
Okay, that's our rumor roundup for the week.
Well, I'm glad they're talking about something substantial this time instead of quill length.
Yeah,
this is something real.
Real
rumor.
It's a real rumor. Actually, led us to
Got
talk
to get
about what we
Tails.
want to see.
We got to get Tails on this show for the next room around.
Yeah.
He can deliver.
What's he?
it.
Is he really busy with
Tails
that?
is dealing with the PR disaster of the Sonic Origins pricing.
Is that his next video?
Yeah.
All right.
His apology video. But they're not.
I saw the chart. It blew my mind.
It's stupid.
Yeah, Zach wasn't here last week. You picking up Sonic Origins?
You picking up the digital deluxe edition?
I don't know. I don't know what to buy. Someone tell me what to buy.
Zach,
I looked
you
at the chart and I got
need
scared.
the letterbox backgrounds. and
Oh,
characters on
okay,
the main menu.
it's
the
kind of
best
frustrating.
value.
The internet kind of, I think, played it up to how bad it actually was. Yeah, the chart was stupid, and it's dumb that they're charging $5 extra for this content. But to get everything, just pre-order the digital deluxe, and you get everything. That's it.
Okay.
I did see a
Wait,
comment
when does it
though
come out?
of saying
Dude.
like, wow, they could have just charged $45 for this and just saved themselves the grief of this
Yeah.
nonsense. If they just put everything into one edition, charged $45 for it, people would be much less up in arms than having to follow this chart to see what you have to buy to
Oh,
get
yeah, that's
which
totally true.
version.
Yeah.
Come on, Sega.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's spicy rumor roundup.
Very spicy this week.
Very, very spicy. Human related, pink hair. I've already forgot everything about this rumor.
It's Dead Amy Ghost, maybe.
Dead Amy Ghost, question mark? All right. That's going to do it.
Amy is a human.
We're
We're
going
too-
off the deep end here.
This rumor got way too theoretical. All right. We're going to be moving on to what we've been playing this week. I know for me personally, it hasn't been much since I've been getting over my illness, but I have had a chance. Logan and I have done some more Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which we have still really been enjoying. Oh, I didn't mention this, but I bought it because I couldn't wait to play it split screen. I just straight up paid $60 for it because I bought it at Walmart, so I could get $10 off, so I wouldn't feel as bad about buying it. But I don't feel bad because I want this game to do well. Because, like I said, we have really been enjoying it. So we hopped in and played some more. It was pretty seamless moving from split screen to online co-op because I was playing on my account when we were doing split screen on Logan's PlayStation. So when I booted up Tiny Tina's on my PlayStation, my character was there and ready to go to pick up right where we left off. So the transition was super easy, and we were able to just hop in and play some more. And we're just really, really invested in doing a lot of the side content because it's a lot of fun, and we're exploring some really cool areas that we don't know we would ever see if we just stuck to the main story. Like we went to a town that had been destroyed by a beanstalk, and we were just like vertically climbing up this area fighting enemies, and it was like super
like
cool.
an hour.
For like an
It was
hour.
like an
This is
hour-long side
This is a
quest.
really long
Oh,
side
God.
quest, and I don't know we would have ever gone to that area if we had not done that side quest. So this definitely seems like a game where it wants you to devote a lot of time to doing all of the side content, because it's a lot of fun.
Actually good.
Yeah, and it's actually good. So we're doing it.
Yeah, and we were
Right.
under leveled on the main path because we did that long mission, but then we were kind of ready to move on with the main story, and then we were under leveled, and it's like, oh, there's more we could have done out in the overworld. But it was cool because, yeah, like Zach was saying, it was just this guy who's like, oh, I need you to, or it was this like.
It was a
plant.
magic bean.
It was an
It
evil
was an evil magic bean who wanted to be planted just so he could destroy stuff.
Yeah, so we planted him and he took over this entire town. So then we had to go and save the town. And it was super long. And you never know what you're going to get with these side quests. Because sometimes you walk up to a cave and it's like, clear the encounter. And it's like 2 waves of enemies and takes like 3 minutes. And other times it's like, all right, you got this long in-depth quest with recorded dialogue lines and side characters and plot. And it was super cool. And I'm really liking switching between weapons as we're going. I think it's fun that I never had the same weapon for more than like 30 to 40 minutes because I just keep finding something better. The only thing is, though, I'm very confused at, like, we've talked about this, Zach and I, while we're playing. I like to know how things work, and I don't really know how the weapons work in this game because it's like, okay, so I have a purple rarity weapon that is like 20 points worse than this blue rarity weapon, but purple's supposed to be better. So which is better? Like the higher number, lower rarity, or the higher rarity, lower number? And I don't know.
I
think
don't
it has to go
think
with
we'll
the
ever
numbers.
know.
Well, I think I mean, to an extent, you can find the rare weapons early on, and then later in the game, you find a less rare weapon, but you're further along in the game, so the stats will just be better. And then you can sell the rare weapon for more money. So you kind of get money out
a
of
good
it,
indicator
but the
is what
further
you could get more money for when you're
Yeah,
trying to
that
sell
doesn't
something.
always mean that it's stronger. The
Yeah.
rarity, especially if you've had the gun for a little while and then you're going along and you get a less rarity, but you're like, 5 or 6 hours further in. So it's just going to be better because it's a later game weapon. But then you get some money out of the ultra rare one.
We also unlocked a ability to get a secondary class, which is cool. So I'm now a spore warden with my mushroom guy and a sorcerer. So I have my special ability now is a polymorph, where I turn enemies into flying sheep that are helpless. So if there's like a strong enemy in an area and a horde, you can like basically neutralize one of them by turning them into a flying sheep and then just take them out really fast. And it's super fun, super funny ability. So yeah, I'm really liking the gameplay, and the story is still funny. They're still doing a lot of fun fourth wall breaking stuff in the right way. Like sometimes I don't like when things break the fourth wall. It feels a little too cheesy. But this, I think, does it really well. I really like the story. We just did a really fun pirate quest. That was super fun. So yeah, I'm like, I thought I was gonna like this game, and I like it more than I thought I was going to. Like I'm super into it, and I'm glad Zach bought it, because we were both itching to play it and didn't want to wait till he came up for the next weekend. We're seeing each other, so yeah, it's been a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then other than that, for me, I've just been playing more Elden Ring since a friend of mine got it. I was playing it with him, helping him get through some stuff, and that got me more into playing it more by myself, because I had kind of stopped because there was a couple bosses that I just couldn't beat. So I hopped back in yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that, and I just sat down and tried to beat those last two bosses, and I successfully did, because I got a item that just made it easier. And then one of them was apparently the hardest boss in any Soulsborne game to ever exist.
Okay.
So that is like a notch in my belt that I'm now very happy that is finally done. So I never ever have to go fight her again. Under any circumstance, I will
Until
never.
you helped me.
Until you do it again.
We'll see. I had to summon in some sort of rando online. His name was Peasant Phil, and he was a god. He helped
Shout out
me.
to Phil.
Peasant Phil, shout out.
Well, have you guys heard about Let Me Solo Her? Have you guys heard about that?
Oh yeah, he's a legend in the Elden Ring community right now.
Yeah,
Let me
he's this
solo
guy
her.
that shows
I don't
up
know.
in underwear. He just wears
I
underwear,
have
and his
seen
name
that vaguely.
is Let Me Solo Her, and it's for that boss. What's her name? Melania?
Melania, Blade of Mikola.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, let me solo her. It says it in his name, and then he just beats the boss, and he's helped like over 250 players beat this boss.
Wow.
He is.
Yeah.
So he's beaten this.
He has
like
mastered
250
her.
times.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah.
Man. That's crazy.
Yeah, he has taken the Elden Ring community by storm. There's fan art, there's articles. I think there was an interview, maybe. I think we know
IGN
who
did
the
an
guy
interview
is.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know who this guy is, and he's great. You can always find summons as. I don't know how you would ever just find this guy. I tried looking for him. I couldn't find him. I don't know. He probably plays on PC or something.
Luck of the draw.
Yeah. But the guy I got, Peasant Phil, he's my hero. Not Let Me Solo Her. Peasant Phil. So if you're out there, Peasant Phil, I appreciate you.
Appreciate the help.
Yeah, so I after that was my only thing I wanted to do before I started New Game Plus, for fear of them getting much stronger. So I started New Game Plus and played it for a bit. The scaling is really weird. I am tearing my way through. I am destroying everything. It's not even funny. So the scaling for New Game Plus 1 isn't great. I'm way stronger than everything. I heard the scaling gets a lot harder when you get a little further into the New Game Pluses. I think it goes up to like 7 or 8, I said. So right now, that platinum is seeming a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, because you have to beat the game 3 times. And I could probably just go up and beat the game pretty easily right now, given how powerful I am in the New Game Plus. So I am actually reconsidering going for the platinum now that I have beaten all the boss trophies. I just have to collect some weapons and items and stuff, and then beat the game 2 more times. So we'll see. But still having a lot of fun 60 to 70 hours in.
Nice.
Yeah. But that's been it for me. I haven't been playing much other than that. Got to get back into Ace Attorney. I got a lot of stuff on my plate. It's overwhelming. I'm just playing Elden Ring. I have a problem.
Lots of games.
Yep.
You just play the same one over and over. I feel that.
Exactly. Logan, anything else other than Wonderlands for you?
Yeah, it's baseball season's in full swing, so I have not really been playing anything on my own. I need to get back into Elden Ring. I dabbled in it a little bit and got to a really hard area, but I haven't been playing much on my own, just been playing stuff with people. And I finally got to try Returnal multiplayer with a friend, and it is super fun. Gosh, this game, I I wish this had been here at launch. I would have plowed through this game when it came out if I could have played a multiplayer when it came out, because it just makes the entire experience a lot more fun, because it's still very challenging. It is still hard. You share item drops, so if you come across health, you have to decide who gets it based on who is dying more. And you share weapons too, so every drop you share, so it's not like you get double the resources. It's like, no, you're actually splitting resources down the middle. So you have 2 guns, you have 2 people fighting, but you're kind of never as fully powered as you would get if you played alone. So it's a really nice balance where you kind of need each other, but if you go down, your run's not over. You can be revived by the other player, which led to some really intense moments where a room is in lockdown, my partner went down, and it takes like 5 seconds to revive someone. So there's no way you can do it with enemies around. So basically it's like, all right, it's on me. I have to clear this room now to get it empty so I can bring my partner back up. But super fun. We had both been unable to beat the first area in Returnal on our own, and we finally beat the first area. It took us 2 runs to do it. We died at the boss on our first run. Then our second run, we took down the boss, made it to the second area, which is like this stormy desert. It is gorgeous. It is completely different geographically. Like in the first area, it's like really vertical. There's all these places to fall off. But in the sand area, it's like super wide open, these huge rooms to roam around, a bunch of new enemy types that were kicking our butt. On our first run in the second area, we made it to the boss and died. So we already know what we're facing when we get to the boss of the second area. He's brutal. He's like this demon with wings who swoops around and is super fast and really powerful. But I really like the multiplayer. Super fun. Has revived my interest in this game like I hoped it would. And we're definitely going to finish it through multiplayer. One thing that was really funny is that there's these areas in Returnal where you have to drop through the floor and you go into this kind of like alternate room. Sometimes it's like an item room or a brief enemy encounter room, and there's no map in that room. Your map is entirely static. And then when you re-enter the main world, your map is restored in the bottom right corner of your screen. And the map is essential because it shows enemy locations and item locations, and it's essential for getting around the rooms. And I was second player. I was in his world, and once he entered and exited an optional room really fast, and my map glitched, and it stayed staticky for the next hour and a half that we played.
Oh God.
And in Returnal, you can't leave a run and come back in multiplayer. Like I would lose all my stuff if I left and came back. So he was just guiding me like a baby. He's like, all right, now we got to go this way. Oh, there's health over here if you need it. And he would just like fire his gun at the health and like tell me where to
Go over there.
So that was kind of annoying. But otherwise, the multiplayer worked really, really well. No disconnects, no lag. It felt like local co-op. So yeah, super cool addition to this game. Really, really enjoying Returnal now.
Just wish that was there on launch. I'm playing it more.
It's almost like they saw, oh wow, no one can beat this game. Let's add in a multiplayer mode.
Make it a little bit easier for some people.
Yeah, so looking forward to getting through. I think there's 5 areas in the game, so looking forward to get.
They patch in the ability to save mid-run now.
Yep.
Okay, so
you just can't really do that in multiplayer. The other annoying thing is, since I am player 2, the progress does not carry over to my own save file. So
oh no!
I'm still on the first area in my own save, so I'm just playing on his. I'm fine with it. I'm fine not getting the trophies, whatever, and just doing it that way. But then beyond that, I finished Twilight Princess. Year of Zelda took a little bit of a back seat recently, but it's back. It's my 3rd beaten Zelda game of the year, and wow, I love it. I'm kind of on the fence right now, deciding if it is my favorite Zelda, which would make it my 2nd favorite game of all time. I adore Twilight Princess more every time I play it. I just think the story is great. I love the scope and the scale of the dungeons, and I like the combat a lot. So Twilight Princess is phenomenal ending. One of my favorite endings to any game, ending sequences. Zach, you remember that final boss? It's like 4 phases.
Oh yeah,
it's super cool and memorable.
Fantastic. Yeah, what a wonderful Zelda game. Haven't played it in a few years since we played it together. I would like to go back and play that one.
You'll get to this October on Nintendo Switch.
Here we go.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
All right.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Is that one of your actual predictions, or is this a new prediction that we're making?
It's my after the Zelda delay. It's a new prediction that we're going to see Twilight and Wind Waker this year, and I'll buy them for like the 3rd time. But
I forgot to grab my copy of Twilight Princess from you when I was over there. Yeah.
Wait.
Oops.
Yeah. And I have a Wii, so I could just play it if it doesn't come to Switch in October. like we think it
Mhm.
will. So who knows?
Mhm. Yeah, but I
And
really loved that game.
yeah,
I'm throwing the
it's
longest
great.
Zeldas now. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, or I think are the besides Breath of the Wild, are the two longest Zelda games. So, yeah.
Yeah.
My new goal for Year of Zelda is just to beat them all by the time Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. Now that it's been delayed,
Yeah, you got
I'm
time.
not going to rush to get them all in this year anymore. But I'm going to try and beat the whole series before next spring. So I got another full year to get through like 15
Got some
more
more
games.
time. Yeah.
Are you?
Yep.
Which one are
Works
you
out.
doing last? Do you know?
Breath of the Wild 1 probably.
Okay, that's what I was
Set
thinking.
yourself up for the next one.
Yeah.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
Yeah, I really want to know the differences in like the overworld, how much they change, stuff like that. But I'm not going to do it like an 80-hour playthrough. I'll do like a 30-hour playthrough. I don't want to burn myself out on the Breath of the Wild style before the new one. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. And up now, I'm going to get back into Pokemon next, and Elden Ring is what I'm looking at.
Yes.
Pokemon.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
Kevin. How about you?
Been pretty busy the last week with stuff, so I haven't had too much time. Just chipping away more at Horizon. Done another couple of missions, slowly working our way to the end, but there's still some missions to go. But
Mhm.
nothing really new to add there. Still enjoying it for what it is, and I'm curious to see how the story of this game ends and how they set up what the next game is going to be. Because from what I've heard, it sets up
It
the
got
next
me
game,
excited.
and
Yeah.
so just curious to see how it resolves this story and how it sets up the next one. But yeah, nothing really new to add since I haven't had much time to play more of it. Hopefully, I'll have it done in the next couple of weeks. I do really want to get to the Lost Judgment DLC before I forget about that. I really want to play it.
Me too.
And once we get later into the summer, like with Strikers, that is going to be kind of a game to play with other games, so I'm not too worried about that. But once we get into the time where like Live Alive comes out and Saints Row comes out and Xenoblade comes out and all that stuff, I kind of want to focus on those. So definitely want to get to the Lost Judgment DLC sometime in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's pretty up next for me as well, since I doubt it's very long.
Yeah, I think I heard it was like 8 to 10 hours, something like that. So
yeah,
you know,
manageable. It's tough to pay for it though. Didn't buy any deluxe edition or anything.
Gotta pay for the season pass or whatever.
It's
I
fine.
got to get through stuff now for us too, because then we got Sunbreak end of June, which is going to be a ton of time. It's like 80 new hours guaranteed.
Oh God. Yeah.
80 hours. Yeah.
Minimum.
Probably more. Yeah.
If it's great, which I hope it is. Yeah.
It's a lot coming.
All right.
Yeah. No Ode 2 this week. Kind of busy. And then next week we're going to be off. People are going to be gone doing stuff, traveling or whatnot. So we're not all going to be here. Zach will be here. Solo show. Zach next week. No, we'll be off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. But any final thoughts before we wrap up for the next 2 weeks?
We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about Switch Sports.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of Switch Sports. It's going to be good.
Zach, you really could just do the episode by yourself and just talk about Switch
if they
Sports
let me talk about it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, are they gonna take us down?
Who knows?
Never be able to talk about this game ever. Just play it, enjoy it, and that's it. Don't tell anybody about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's going to do it for us on this week's episode of Ode Games. We're here on Thursdays or Fridays, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, odegames.com with the audio version. YouTube at Ode Games has the video version. You can find us on Twitter at Ode Games. You can send an email to odegamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks.